Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is One Season Wonders, the show where Meredith and I find a TV show that only had one season and talk about it. Our favorite show.
I mean, it is truly our gift to the world.
You're not supposed to have a favorite child, but we do. And it's this.
We so do.
We do. I don't know who this wouldn't be their favorite for.
Seriously.
Okay, I'm very excited. So before we get into the episode, check out our less favorite children. Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast, still good. And It's About the Pasta, Vanderpump Rules podcast. They're both coming back for live seasons. These two will never end. We can't wait for them to do it so we can fully commit to One Season Wonders and have no one listen to us ever.
Just binge a bunch of one season series. We love it.
But we have an excuse. So when my parents were like, why do you keep doing this? It's like, I have to for the podcast.
My friendship with Meredith would not survive if we didn't watch TV and talk about it.
Actually, though, check us. Hang on. Oh, please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. I think we only have one rating, and it's me. And I don't think we have any reviews.
Oh my God!
Shout out. Follow us on.
Please give us one for the sake of
review.
Our own sanity.
I'll
even just take a few ratings. At this rate, I'll take a few ratings.
Please, don't let this podcast die. Follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta. It's the Instagram for all of our podcasts. But if the show really takes off, we'll make our own Instagram. Don't think we won't. And join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get for $1 a month. You get access to pre-shows that we do when we do our other shows, because no one listens to this one, so we don't do pre-shows yet. But if we get 5 ratings, 5 reviews, we will do a pre-show for this show.
Oh my gosh.
I doubt, but I'll set that up. Also, what else do you get access to? Oh, you get access to any episodes we record early. So
like these. Like
this one. This is on our Patreon first, and then we release it to the public to see how it does. It does horrible everywhere, but we love it.
Stop it. You're being so mean to our favorite podcast.
I know.
Typically, we haven't done this one in a while, so I'm releasing it pretty quickly. So there isn't a large gap for this one. But when we do other ones, there will be very large gaps. And when this becomes our only podcast, there'll definitely be large gaps.
Yeah. So
get on it.
Join now because we probably won't raise the prices. But in case we do, we'll lock you into this $1.
There we go.
For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, you get access to after shows that we do when we go back and we watch. I don't know, when we do lives. What am I saying? I'm sorry. I'm drunk. Meredith, I'm not drunk. I'm very sober.
When we do live seasons, you can comment on those shows. Is that what you're talking about?
After shows.
Oh.
Meredith doesn't listen. This is messy. Who the fuck cares?
When we go back and do old seasons, we do post shows, so we don't do things spoilers. But these are so old, we are happy to spoil you.
That's what I meant to say. I'm like so excited. I can't get it around. But also we'll say your name on the podcast. This I can do. So thank you to Chris, Danae, Dustin, Jackie, Casey, Kimberly, Cameron, Tiffany, Tracy, Gina, Jennifer, Kelsey, Mariah, and Sarah. And I expect all of you to listen to this.
Amen.
Come on, $2 a month. You're paying for this, for the good content.
This is the gold standard.
It's not yet, but just wait.
This is the first pancake, but the rest of the season is the gold standard.
I was just going to say this intro is god awful, and I am
it's so sorry. It's the first pancake. It's okay.
And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, for our other shows, when they have live seasons, you get to give us all your comments, questions, concerns, and we read them on the podcast. Also, if One Season Wonders, if anyone fucking listens, we might bring you on to the show or have you do something to get involved.
That is legit a long-term goal. We just weave these in right now at a really weird time that it hasn't worked this season, but I'm happy to do it for the others.
We'll get a following eventually. And then also we'll pick a patron of the episode, which I don't think we should do until someone listens.
I like that.
Okay. So first person to leave us a review is patron of the next episode.
It can be a patron. And to be honest, I'll just take a person of the episode, even for people who
we'll take
listen to it on Apple.
Yes.
You could probably make the next one season wonder season.
You know what? You can DM us because we did have one person DM us
That was a
about
while
how good
ago.
this was. I know I was gonna see if I could figure it out, but we tagged so many people. So if you're listening, slide into our DMs again. We're gonna shout you out. If you listen to an episode, slide into our DMs. We will shout you out. We'll
Yep.
talk about how great you are. That's what we're gonna do. I don't know if that'll get anyone to listen to this, but it's a start. Meredith, over to you. I'm drinking my
I love
probiotic
that.
soda.
I'm drinking Quick Trip soda,
Ooh,
not healthy soda.
yum.
Tastes
Okay,
incredible.
let's talk about the princes of Malibu.
I'm psyched. Okay,
Give us
to
some
start
background.
it. Yes,
Yeah.
to start it. First up, Alicia, you have watched this, right?
I did way back when this was actually on.
When it happened. I have never seen it. But we
Horrible.
both watched The Hills. So we obviously know Brody. I'm a big fan of the Kardashians. So like I've met Brandon Jenner on a different show. Brody was also on that.
I've met
So,
Brandon
like,
Jenner. Yeah.
yeah, like we got like some understanding of who they are, but holy shit, I'm obsessed with this show already. I immediately texted Alicia first episode, like I'm sold.
It's
So
worse than I remember. So
absolutely
horrible show.
I'm gonna tell you my favorite thing of my top favorite things about this show, not from like a
Okay.
character development level at all, just
Character
random
development.
tidbits, and then I'm gonna give some background on
Okay.
the layout of the situation we are entering, because I feel like they didn't really give us enough details when
No,
we dive right into
horrible.
episode one.
Horrible. I did not know who David Foster was the first time I watched this, and I watched the whole season.
Seriously, I'm like,
Still
people,
couldn't
come
tell you.
on. This is probably why it had one season. Okay, so first, the thing I loved about this is the low quality camera that we are working with, because
Horrible.
I mean, it's just it's incredible. The Princess Malibu came out in 2005, so just the cornerstone of reality TV, really like lifting up and people loving it.
That's crazy because wasn't Laguna Beach before this? And that was a way better quality show.
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
Laguna
but either way,
Beach aired in 2004, everyone.
yes.
So MTV fucked up.
I know.
MTV?
But also, we're also on YouTube watching this, so I wonder if that has a difference.
That's it.
We probably have the low quality video uploaded. I also love the size of the physical video we are watching, because if you remember back in 2005, we all had square TVs. We did not have rectangular TVs. So my top two favorite things about the show already, not having to do with the actual show. But just some background on the Foster Jenner Thompson family. Linda Thompson, we did get a little bit of background about like who Linda Thompson is and a slight touch about who David Foster is, but they basically got married in 1991. Spoiler alert, they got divorced in 2005. So I bet while this is airing, they got divorced.
Oh, this show caused a whole divorce.
I don't know. Sometimes it seems a little fake. Like
it was this whole show.
Sometimes it seems a little pushed, and I bet David Foster just didn't want to do this. And I don't think he probably had this many problems where he would truly do these things, but whatever. Maybe he did. Brody and Brandon obviously are Caitlyn Jenner's son, although in the show, obviously referred to as Bruce Jenner because hadn't transitioned at that point. Really quick, do you want to decide if we're going to go Caitlyn Jenner and just override the name, or are we going to go true to the show?
So I think true to the show is great. I think out of respect, even though Caitlyn Jenner kind of sucks in my opinion, we should refer to her as such because these are her sons. Yeah. At the same time, if we slip up, it's because we're back in 2005.
What's interesting is Caitlyn herself refers to that period as Bruce.
As Bruce.
Though. Yeah. So
that's true. Maybe we should do that. We'll stick with the period then.
I think we might flip-flop between because it might just naturally come out different ways.
Maybe when we talk about Caitlyn in present time.
Yes.
But then back here, we're like, oh, they saw their father, Bruce.
Yes.
Like, whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Brandon is the oldest. He was born in 1981. And then
Old.
Brody,
Just kidding.
I know. Brody then was born in 1983, so they're only 2 years apart.
Oh, I had such a crush on Brody.
I
Oh my
mean,
God, he
same.
is
I'm
so
literally
hot.
looking at his
Sorry,
picture
Brandon.
right now. I love it. A lot of people may not know this, but the reason they were on the Kardashians is because obviously Bruce at the time married Kris Jenner. So they have a lot to do with, they have like a lot of people around them, like famous. It's kind of wild. I also did the math on how long that marriage was. It was 14 years between Linda Thompson and David Foster. And the boys were basically 8 and 10, I think, when their mom got married. So like they grew up with David. And I did not realize this when I watched the first episode. So I just want to give that background because he does kind of have a right to parent them, is what I'm finally deciding.
I also didn't either until I did a little research because I was also very just confused about the dynamic.
Yeah.
And I definitely saw that. So yeah, it makes it more understandable why David gets so fucking frustrated with these two clowns.
Absolutely.
I think also watching this as a kid, I was like, oh my God, David's crazy. Like, who would want him as a father?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I would kill these two 20-year-olds.
Same.
Murder even.
And we're closer to their age. It's not like we're parents. I cannot imagine doing that in my parents' yard. I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, can you imagine? I'm not even gonna get into, I guess, the things that they're doing, but I'm thinking about all the things. Yeah.
Oh, also, what are their jobs, Meredith?
Nothing.
The boys don't do anything.
No, which
that's the show. That's the show. It's about three unemployed losers. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, don't let Spencer off the hook too early. Okay, so we start the episode off and the whole season of David's narrating this whole thing.
Hilarious.
Which I love.
Hilarious.
Such a twist that I wasn't expecting.
You think he does this against his will, and then he narrates the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm very curious about how this project came to be, and I'll definitely do some research for episode 3. We record these in 2 batches because I need to see if I can dig up
don't even
anything.
worry, Meredith.
Oh, good.
Just to give some background to what you guys have to look forward to, my mom and I this past weekend watched a David Foster documentary on Netflix. So I got the tea.
I love it.
I learned more about this man than I care to share.
But we kick off the episode. David's narrating it. He's talking about how his sons have moved out of the house. But then they came back. They really don't do much. All they do is sleep all day, don't have jobs. They spend his money and they wreck his stuff. Brody is quick to say he does not wreck David's stuff, which the things we see in this show too, like the hovercrafts, like
this is the 1%. This is the 1%. Even if my parents wouldn't even let me ruin like their horribly painted walls or the bad carpet we haven't changed, let alone fucking millions of dollars of shit.
It's just insane to see the wealth of 2005 even. Like, can you imagine what they have nowadays?
No.
David's a record producer. He's done very well for himself, has a lot of Grammys, which we see throughout the season, the physical Grammys. But his stepsons are Brody and Brandon, and they just will not leave this house.
I wouldn't either.
I mean, Alicia and I have been in this moment. I'm literally currently in this moment of living with my parents' house. And I feel like living with your parents is normal. It's okay. But you gotta be doing something. Yes.
You're employed and you don't have a million friends that you constantly invite over to destroy your parents' shit, which is almost worse than you destroying. I'm like so angry. I'm like a parent.
Would you agree you sacrifice your social life for the financial benefit you get of living with your parents? These boys are not sacrificing anything.
No. Never.
But their mom is Linda Thompson. She's also a songwriter. She was a pageant queen in Tennessee, dated Elvis, which is freaking wild. I didn't know that. Like, holy shit. And then was first married to Bruce Jenner at the time, now Caitlyn, and had the 2 boys. We also find out that the boys dropped out of college. So not really doing nothing. No job, no college.
Nope.
Spending David's money.
Nope. Listen, if you're gonna live with your parents, my parents always said you're gonna get a degree and you're gonna have a job.
Same.
So
My brother came
geez.
back to my parents' house and dropped out of college, and my parents said you need a full-time job and you're paying me rent.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Like you don't just get to skate by for free here.
David
Linda
feels that.
and Linda does not. She is
Oh my
the
God.
pushover, has a soft place in her heart for her two boys, plus their Weasley little friend Spencer. They
Oh
can
my
do no wrong.
God. Spencer Pratt.
I mean, we have Brandon and Brody who are like goddesses, gorgeous, and then Weasley little Spencer, and I love that David calls him Weasley.
I hate that Spencer might be my favorite on the show. He's so he is Weasley. He's just such a skis that it's like fun.
But he is the
hate.
one moving this story along, and I love it.
He has one job and he knows what to do.
He's hitting the beats incredibly. I truly I love it.
I just want to make like a quick note that I noticed. Spencer Pratt is an executive producer on this show.
Shut up.
Along with I think Brody and Brandon and Spencer created the show. So they're listed.
Okay.
They're
I
listed.
Was wondering how this show got created.
I saw in the first episode, it was like executive producer Spencer Pratt. And I was like, wait a second. So the second episode, I paid extra close attention to the credits at the beginning.
Okay, this makes sense. I see how David signed on board because as we know,
it was something for them to do.
They technically is giving them a job. I'd be thrilled.
Yep.
But either way, the tension's been building, as one could expect. How could you ever want to live in this situation? And David says a great line. Things have gone too far for these princes of Malibu. And I was like, there we go. There's our title.
We love when you use the title in the actual show. It's amazing.
Tee it up. But we decide kind of really what the last straw was. Brody is turning 21. And a lot of things go down around Brody's 21st birthday. But first up, we have Spencer here, waking up Brody on the intercom. Brody will not wake up. I cannot believe intercoms are being used in this moment. And B, I'm shocked that Spencer's awake and Brody's not, because we quickly learn that Spencer's living with them.
Permanent house guest was the exact title he got.
Yes.
Amazing.
The Brandon, Brody, and Spencer are planning the party of the year. Not on their own dime, of course. David's checkbook is actually getting a lot of action as we see the planning go down. But while they're planning, David and Linda are in Mexico enjoying a relaxing vacation, unbeknownst to them, at all the things that are happening at home.
Who would have thought, though, that they're going to come home a day early, right on time? Who wrote this show?
What a
amazing thought. MTV.
You know, David's just teeing up all the things of why he should, like, Linda should see, you know, her point or his point. And instead, yeah, like you said, they come home a day early. And boy, do they walk into an insane party.
Oh my God.
Have you ever thrown a party at your parents' house?
Thrown a party? God, you gotta be kidding me. Absolutely not. If one thing was out of place, I would have been murdered.
I threw 2 in one weekend, and a hole got punched in my parents' pantry door.
My God.
And I still to this day do not live it down.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. Absolutely not. And not only is this like, I've never thrown a party. I've never been to a party this cool.
No.
This is so crazy. There's a band that I guess Brody and Brandon are both in. There's topless girls who I'm assuming are around 20.
Like 70 people are in a hot tub.
Oh my God. There's a hot tub. There's a fucking carnival thing. Like, there's food. I like can't. I like literally
How
can't.
much do you think this party cost, David?
At least 10,000 at minimum.
Way more, I think.
Well, they already have the hot tub there.
That's true. They already have like the pool and the hot tub. Yeah, they already have their band, and they're the ones playing, I guess.
Like, are we talking damages too? That's at least 25K.
Jeez, yeah. I mean, I was thrilled. They had fun lights even. Who knows? Maybe those are even permanent. Either way, I would
Amazing.
love to go to this party. David does not want to go to this party, let alone host this party.
Oh my God.
Linda is thrilled. She's
I'd
like,
be so fucking mad at Linda. This bitch is my least favorite. She's like, oh, David, look, it's a full rager at our house. And David's like, are you fucking kidding me,
I
Linda?
know. Listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda.
David's trying to
Also-
kick people out, and Linda's greeting everyone. She's like,
Oh
oh
my
my God,
God.
so great to see you. There's
I'd
our
be
dog.
enraged. David's manhandling people. Like straight up, he's yelling in people's faces. Walter, the groundskeeper, my new favorite bit in the entire world. Chilling. Who would have thought?
I love it. I love it. Walter on a break.
Do we think Spencer was like, Walter, come hang out at this party? You'll be
Spencer's
on TV.
like, and action. Walter,
Walter's here.
stand there. Just stand there. That's all we need from you.
So bad. Also, okay, wait. So David finds Brody, right? At some point,
Yes.
and is like, breathe on me. He's 21.
I
Of
was
course he's
so
drinking.
curious. So curious. He also does make Spencer do it too. And I was like, what's the problem? Are you trying to like suss out weed or drugs? Because the drinking really shouldn't be the problem.
And I think Spencer and Brody are the same age, so they should both be around 21.
Yeah.
So weird. So weird. Don't understand.
To be honest, that's the thing I feel like he should be least mad about.
Yeah. He's like, he's got bigger plans. He looks like he's about to have a fucking heart attack. I thought David was
Seriously.
gonna die for a second.
I love that then he's like, everyone out screaming. Linda's
He
like,
says it like a
"Oh."
Canadian. He says, everybody oot. Get out, get oot.
He is Canadian.
Yeah, get out.
And then he pushes somebody in the pool when they
Oh my God,
talk back to him.
assaults a child.
I love it. They're not a child.
They're so, I want to talk about all the assault in this show. We'll get to it later. There's more.
They go hard on the like aggressive actions.
David's very aggressive, and then he like is so mad he has to walk around the house and point out all the other things that bother him.
I love this.
Even though there's still a rager in his backyard.
I'm wondering if this cut and they are putting two different sections together because he's walking around the house and he's annoyed with normal things they do, not just raging parties that they throw, such as parking in a spot. Although Linda says, you weren't even here, David. That's not really fair. And I do have to give them a point on that. The kids a point on that one. Listen, if the parent's out of town, why can I park in your parking spot?
That's true.
But all the lights are on.
Horrible. My dad hates this.
I hate this. Literally every light. It's not just like you left one upstairs on. There's a bunch of crap everywhere. There's always unknown house guests. David opens a whole closet and he's like, whose is this?
Enrage me. That would just be so upsetting.
I agree. And then wasting things. And in this particular moment, the sink is on.
Yeah, and I have so many questions because, like, yeah, the sink is on, but also there's like a wet t-shirt contest and a chicken fight simultaneously happening in the hot tub. So are we fine? Also, shout out MTV for blurring out the tits.
Oh my God. Oh, the third thing I'm obsessed with this show is every time they cuss, they put a different word over their mouth.
My God. Like, oh my God.
That MTV semi goes with like what's going on in this scene. And I was like,
don't touch my shit covered as stuff.
Yeah. I appreciate you customizing each bleep for me.
It's a lot of fucks and a lot of shits.
Yeah, definitely.
And some assholes too.
We don't really find out, or I guess the boys party all night, don't they? The party doesn't fully get shut down.
David basically dies and then we go the next morning.
Yeah. So Linda finally agrees with David that we need to change things. This is not working. This definitely was the last straw. They're gonna call a family meeting. And so David's like, listen, we need to role play this because he does not have, I'm gonna put words in his mouth. He does not have much confidence in his wife. But they decided to switch roles. So Linda acts as David and does the typical, oh my God,
jerks.
Yeah.
Listen, I know this is a show, but can you imagine in real life, David has been raising these kids for 10 years in his house. and refers to them as hey jerks.
For 15 years he's been raising them.
Oh my God. I would die. I hope that's just for the show. It's horrible. Also, though Linda is, you cannot convince me this woman ever disciplined her children ever.
Oh,
She's
no.
like this in real life.
I have no, I don't know. It's too much. This David does the whole softy soft side of Linda, and she kind of chuckles a little bit. Like, I don't
like,
think
I
she
don't
thinks
do
she's that
that.
way. Yeah.
Linda, I've known you for 15 seconds. You're that way.
Okay, but we're gonna have the family meeting. So Linda and David go and sit at the, I think, like kitchen table or just in that common area.
One
And-
of the kitchens and at
and
one of their tables.
and they wait. And they wait. It's by now it's 2 p.m. The boys are still asleep. And then they finally trickle downstairs kind of in the late 2 p.m. Minutes.
3 p.m. these jabrones show up. It's 2:58.
I love that their excuse is we were up late. Like, come on, you knew we
Linda
were up late.
says that. Linda goes, they were up late, David. Linda, you have been wasting your day too. Are you kidding me?
The outs that she gives
Linda.
them. She
I'm
cues them for
Linda.
every excuse as if they didn't just throw a rager on David's dime and without his knowledge last night.
And you know who's the most responsible? It's Spencer Pratt bringing David some orange juice.
But you know
he gets
what?
kicked out of the meeting.
Yeah, David still is not happy, and I love this. He goes, "Why are you here?" And Spencer goes,
like, "It's a house meeting.
We have a meeting," and he's like, "It is a family meeting. Why are you here?"
Oh, I love Spencer. I think that's it. Like, he obviously had the idea to throw the party and put it all together. But then the next morning, he's like, "Here's some orange juice, David." He's like so obnoxious. I love him.
He's a little brown noser, and I love it.
I'm obsessed.
But he does not have to deal with David's frustrations.
Talk about this meeting. I'm so excited.
I love it. We talk about like the reasons David's frustrated. One of the reasons is that all this stuff gets broken. Brandon and Brody try to say they don't break it again. And that it doesn't really matter because David doesn't use it anyways. And Linda's like, yeah,
horrible.
You don't use it anyway.
Fucking Linda again. Oh my God. This is not a marriage. God, Linda.
Time David has a leg to stand on, Linda cuts it right off. Like, she's like,
started out so good. She was like, boys, like, playing the drums is not your job.
Yeah.
And they're like, you can't touch David's shit. And they're like, but we put used to the shit. And she's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Fucking Linda.
Yep.
So upset.
Yep. But you know what? David's done. Everything's cut off. You know, we're done with the credit cards. We're done with the staff. And Linda tries to say they're really great men. And
wrong. Linda, but she wants the fuck up.
She wants to see them make something of themselves. So we're gonna try and give them the opportunity to do that. And I'm just like, Linda, you're gonna need to like stick to your guns a little bit harder if you want your sons to make something of themselves.
Linda, let me tell you what one of your sons said in this exact situation, right? David's like, I had to work really hard for my shit. Like, yep.
I'm the one who bought my parents a house. I didn't live in my parents' house.
Yeah, I helped him so much. Like, I had respect. I worked really hard. I had great work ethic. Great. Brandon then fucking goes, I didn't ask to be born into this life with so much money and fame and power. It's like not even my fault, okay? I'm doing the best I can with this situation. Brandon, you fucking kidding me? I
know. It's like, okay, nobody's faulting you for living in a nice house. Nobody said like, God, Brandon, I can't believe you live in such a nice house. And that would be inappropriate. You know what? I was born into this. But that doesn't mean you don't get a job and you get to live off somebody's dime and go to Nobu and spend $700 on sushi.
Just because someone has the ability to give you a bunch of money does not mean you should not make your own as well. Let's Brandon. So Linda, till he figures out his privilege shit, let's call him a boy. Okay.
That's true. Out. Yeah. We have no men.
Wow. David, somehow I sympathize with David. I'm so angry.
Sometimes I'm just like, wow, I like have no words because I think I would have my own heart attack from freaking out so much if I were David. But the boys go to think about everything that was discussed at the family meeting. But they eventually just go back to their normal shenanigans. They're golfing in the yard and just shooting the shit about random stuff. And then we get a fake, in my opinion, a fake golf ball hits the house and cracks a window.
Yeah, this was not real because we never saw like the fallout from this.
Yeah, but I appreciate things. I don't know where this aired, but whatever network, thanks for trying to make some more drama. And instead of really trying to make something of themselves and make men's of themselves, instead we're just gonna go to Nobu again for dinner.
Which is apparently the most expensive restaurant in Malibu, and I don't doubt it.
I don't doubt it either. Well,
this is also before sushi was like a really big staple in a lot of places. So a sushi restaurant was a big deal. And already, like, really nice sushi costs a lot of money.
And Nobu's still a big deal. I can't imagine it back then.
It couldn't at all.
Well, they go with a bunch of friends. It's a huge group. And they basically spend
horrifying
$700. The $700 makes a little bit more sense because of how many people there are. I was thinking there were going to be 4 of them.
Also, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Does Brody always pay with David's card? Are they just like, hey man, you want to grab sushi tonight? On me.
Like it sounds like it because it's not even on his card.
On David's account.
At this time, David is also putting the wheels together and noticing that the boys have done nothing and actually taking action on cutting the boys off. He's calling all of the accounts to shut things off. The first is the Nobu account. He shuts off the account and basically tells Nobu to take the boys off of the David Foster plan. And I'm like, okay, I love this.
You know you're fucking rich when you have an account anywhere. Yes. Amazing.
I mean, I don't have one place I could go and do this.
Amazing. I love that he shuts it down. I think that's hilarious. I love that he shuts down the credit cards that have a current balance of $8,000.
Insane.
That's like almost my limit.
That's one credit card too. I bet that was just Brody's.
That's insane. If on a bad month, I'll spend like $2,000 in a month.
I spend a lot because technically all my rent payments through Airbnb go on my credit card, but like still I spend my own money. This is insane. But yeah, so David, like you said, also cuts off the credit card. So basically what happens is the boys are at their Nobu dinner. They want to go pay and they say, put it on the tab. And the lady says, you don't have a tab anymore.
Your dad called and told you you're not allowed to use the tab.
It's a no. And they laugh it off and they're like, that's okay. We still have his credit card.
That's hilarious, bitch.
Throw it
this card
on that credit card.
Horrible.
That's fine. Well, like we said, David cut off the credit card. So they come back and tell him the credit card is declined.
Tragic. Tragic.
And our narrator, David, thinks it's so funny that this table has parents who have such a large net worth and no one has $700 to pay here.
Billionaire parents, right? Bunch of them. There's probably like at least 8 people at this table. Together, they have $78, and no one else has a credit card we can put that on.
Okay, so we're definitely making this more dramatic because I bet every other person at that table probably has their Nobu account, let alone the credit cards in their pockets.
Hey, Dad. Hope you got back from your meeting from like your billionaire job. We're kind of trapped right now. I know it's a lot of money, but can I put this $700?
Dude, you wouldn't even call it your parents. It's not like there's a limit on those cards.
That's true. I would just probably go home and like let my billionaire father know, like, hey, I paid for it.
Yeah, so I paid for dinner
get arrested. Sorry.
What do we think? There's at least 5, 6 people, more than that, 6, 7.
This is like the equivalent of using my parents' emergency card that they gave me as a kid.
No, but how many people do you think are at the table?
8.
Oh,
8 people.
Everybody could split it and have a bill of less than $100.
Well, they got to cover Spencer, Brody, and Brandon.
True. Okay, fine. Everybody splits it and you spend $200.
Do you think Spencer has David's credit card?
No, I don't think Spencer has anything. We know Spencer's parents are not to this level.
No, yeah, they're rich, but not like this. I mean, they're richer than us. in our parents.
I don't think Spencer's family has a Nobu account, which is why David's is often used.
No, technically, it doesn't look like Brody or Brandon's biological family or blood family does either. It's their stepdad,
Hey,
which
but
I know step parents are also families and stuff like that. But like, if we want to get real technical, Jenners, let's talk about it.
Yeah, where's your Nobu account? Where's the Jenner one? Because we're trying to use the Fosters.
Better call Bruce, baby.
So we go back home, and the boys are sitting in one of their rooms with some girls, and David walks in and immediately tells them to get out. He asks the Jenner boys and Spencer, what they really think a household costs, especially this household. How much do you think that they're spending? How much does this house cost? What's the water bill? What do we really think? Spencer's the one who is answering and does some amazing math of $500,000, which boils down to $10,000 a month in his mind.
Yep. Clearly they didn't go to college.
They did go to college, but they didn't take math courses, is what I'm learning.
Absolute. So clear. So very clear. Also, can we like quick shout out Spencer though for like being the only person to actually answer? Like, David's asking you to do something, right?
Yes.
And Brody and Brandon are like, whatever. And Spencer's like, I'll play into this.
Yes. I appreciate Spencer. He's always willing to show up for the camera, for the conversation, for everything. Never forget the OJ this morning.
I love him.
But we do learn it does take $500,000 to run this household every year, which is fucking insane.
Wow.
I don't have that money.
Thank God. I would be worried if we're doing a podcast and you do have that money.
Insane.
I'd be like actually concerned.
And the correct math for each month is about $42,000 to run the household every single month.
Actually, if you divide it by the 5 people permanently living in there, it'd be less than 10K per person.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So Brody is being his smart aleck little self of like, well, what do you want?
I'll contribute.
What do you want from me? Like Alicia said, it's about 10K per person. So you know what? David asked for 20K, and I'm guessing that's between the two.
Yeah.
Two actual sons. Even. And you know, it's a buy 2, get 1 free in this household
the other
at
one.
this rate.
Yep.
Brody says that's a little bit too much. So David's like, you know what?
Oh, fine. Is it?
$10,000. I'm happy to give you a deal and it'll be 10K. And Brody's basically like, that's still too much. I'd like to pay $1,000.
Oh, would you? This won't even get you an apartment.
No.
In like
anywhere.
Any city. $1,000 a month, sir. Are you? I like can't. This man has no idea what things cost.
I don't even know what costs David is factoring into this, but even for, like you said, rent, the water bill because you leave the faucet on, all the electricity you use in this household, your Nobu bill was basically $1,000.
Meredith, when we lived in Chicago, would you say that with rent and all the amenities and other bills we had to pay, we were probably paying around like $3,000 to $4,000 a month?
Oh, absolutely.
Easy.
For my life, yeah.
Easy. These boys are like $1,000 and I still get to destroy your whole home.
In Los Angeles.
In Malibu. No, not even Los Angeles. We're in Malibu.
Yeah.
And Brody's like, oh, I'll do $1,000 because you're my stepdad and I love you. And I'm like, you don't love this.
He even bumps it to $2,000 and I'm like, oh, okay. Wow.
Okay, because
now you're so grateful.
Brody's a dumbass and a smartass because now he's like, oh, we could do 2,000. Why not just make it 3? Why not just make it 4? Like, shut the fuck up, Brody. Where are you getting this damn money?
You know what, Brody? Let's get to the 10K David wanted.
And David's just like, yeah, whatever. Fine. Pay me.
You want to count yourself up? Go after it. I think any money coming in, David would be happy with because it just shows a little bit of respect.
Agreed. And then David even gets vulnerable and is like, I feel like a bad parent for not like motivating you the correct way. And Spencer's the one that's like, you're as cool gets, my dog.
Spencer's trying to do the flattery piece and I appreciate it. He's trying to butter up David. to like make things cool in the end.
Awesome. And then we get my favorite quote from David that I just have to say, with rent due, 3 boys, 7 semesters of college,
Collectively.
they hold a car wash of girls in bikinis.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
What a way to earn some money.
Walter's fucking back. Walter the groundskeeper.
Incredible. I love it. So the boys and their girlfriends are like washing these cars, whatever. Linda sees and is like, let me get my suit on. I love this.
What a great idea. Amazing. Who would think that having cars line up and drive through our lawn
in our private drive
with a bunch of 20-year-old women in bikinis? This isn't a bad idea.
No, not at all. There's a lot of cars, and the first thing I thought of is, how did they get so many people to come to this?
Also, who the hell would wait in this line?
Nobody.
For a chance to get your car washed? You could go to the Brody Jenner,
like the one in the car washes at the gas stations don't have lines. You could just go do that. I bet all these people actually have private people who wash their cars and come to their own houses.
If I didn't know any better, I would just say that these 3 will probably be washing your car later in life anyway, since they don't have any motivation. But I'm wrong, because they all are very successful people and I am not.
Well, that's what happens when your parents
I'm a clown.
Have money. But basically Linda is washing cars. David, meanwhile, is stuck in traffic to get to his own house for a meeting, and he's pissed. He has no clue what's going on, and he's just trying to get home for this damn meeting. But guess what? We find out his meeting guest is also in line for this freaking car wash. But sweet baby Spencer is going to give her the VIP treatment and take her the back way so she doesn't have to wait in the line.
Chaka Khan, am I right? I don't know who this is, and I don't care to look it up. But let me tell you, she is a bad actress, because she was clearly fake bad. She was not that bad.
Absolutely. But you know what? We got another person to sign up for this show. So all the people.
The best part was Spencer being like, she's like, I'm Chaka Khan. And he goes, Chaka what? And then he's in the golf cart going, I got Chaka Khan here.
I'm really upset because I really thought he was going to take the opportunity to charge her for the VIP services he was offering. Missed an opportunity there to make an extra $50.
Spencer's a good guy. Okay. He knows what to do. He knows Chaka Khan's just here to try and make a living like he is. He's not going to charge her.
Yeah. I mean, that is not what nice guys do.
No.
David finally gets to his house and sees what is going on and is pissed because this is his place of work, his business, his recording studio. He had a meeting and that person is probably gone now. But you know what? Spencer makes sure David knows I gave her that VIP treatment.
Chaka Khan.
She up there for you. Don't you worry. We saved the day. I saved the day here.
Hilarious.
Incredible. But David's still upset. One of the car wash girls sprays David down.
Horrible. Okay, no, horrible. He is clearly mad about his lawn, and this girl comes over with a hose. Who the hell are you? We have no
words.
Idea.
No words exchanged.
Sprays him with this hose, and he just stares at her. So no, absolutely not. This girl needs to go immediately.
Oh,
who the hell?
Man.
And then he drives through and they all throw sponges at his car.
I want to know if there's a countdown. All right.
I'm upset.
And action in 3, 2, 1. David drive off. Throw the sponge.
There has to be. He had to know this girl was going to spray her. Because no one was shook. Everyone just thought it was so funny. Linda over here laughing. Bad. Horrible. I mean, not a Linda supporter.
Reason 872, Linda Thompson and David.
Linda's not my girl right now.
No. Yeah. So that's our first episode.
Oh my God. And of course I had so many questions. So I decided, because I watched his documentary, I had to do more research on David Foster.
Yeah.
So basically highlights from the documentary, right? It was mainly about his quest to get a grant or a Tony, because that's the only award he doesn't have.
Oh, he wants the EGOT.
He wants to write a musical. So that's his next thing he's working on right now. but it goes through his life. And he's actually like kind of an interesting guy. I didn't really care about like his background that much.
Yeah.
I cared about his marriages and like his career. So
Absolutely.
basically he has 16 Grammys, 47 nominations. It's pretty dope.
Damn.
He has worked with Whitney Houston. He worked on The Bodyguard with Linda Thompson. He worked with Celine Dion, Josh Groban, Michael Bublé, Kenny Rogers, Mary J. Blige, Barbara Streisand. Most of which these people are all in his documentary.
Yeah.
They all talk about how much they fucking love him. He like found Josh Groban basically.
Really?
I mean, like, this man's great. So then you find out he goes into his personal life a little bit. He was married 5 times. And his daughters are also in the documentary. And they basically say, shitty dad. So you have literally all these people from like the music industry being like, he's amazing, he's great, we love him. And everyone else is like, he basically didn't pay attention to his family. But they're all good now because everyone's an adult. But as a child, they had no father.
Neglected.
Also because he just kept bouncing from marriage to marriage. And I think I zoned out a little bit in the documentary. I was playing Zoo Tycoon also, but some of the daughters were kind of like, he also had just other children from other families. So like, for example,
Brody and
Brandon. Yeah. So married 5 times. He has 5 biological daughters and 1 biological son and 7 grandchildren. So his first daughter was born when he was 20 and she was put up for adoption.
Whoa.
Yeah. And this was the daughter that was not on the documentary, but she was referred to. And David, this was the one he was like, I was worse. I was the worst with her because though like she was put up for adoption and everything, they didn't reconnect until she was 30.
Whoa.
So 30 years later,
he clearly made it big, like could have done stuff for her.
So I think there was like a little strain, but okay. So his first wife was BJ Cook. They had 1 daughter together. Great. Second wife, Rebecca Dwyer. They had 3 daughters together. Great. Third wife, Linda Thompson, married for 14 years. They became a songwriting team, worked together.
Fun.
They did like the Bodyguard for Whitney Houston. They wrote I Have Nothing. Great. And that's, he had Brody and Brandon. Then his 4th wife was Yolanda Hadid.
Yep.
So he became then the stepfather to Gigi, Bella, and Anwar Hadid.
And also became a house husband of Beverly Hills.
Exactly. So for his short stint on reality TV, they talked about this too. Obviously, Princess of Malibu, that was a mistake in his career.
Wait, they talked about it?
Yeah. He was like, that was a mistake. That probably shouldn't have happened because it made him look crazy, right? Who's going to watch that show and be like, that's the man I want to work with? Yeah. And then he, so basically what they say is like, but he felt like he had to. Then he didn't want to do Beverly Hills, but he felt like, okay, this is going to give Yolanda something to do. So I have to do it. So he felt like, I think he always felt with his previous marriages that he had so much success and like all his other wives were almost like relying on him and his money. And I don't think he like cares.
Even like attention wise, I think he probably like wanted them to have a thing that like they solely focused on so he could go to work and do his own thing.
Well, from what I got from the documentary, he's kind of a narcissist, I think, where he's the best, right? He is the greatest. He's amazing. So, okay. So his wives are like bored or don't have the same level of fame. He gets bored. He doesn't care about them. Like figure it out, go be successful. So he was married to Yolanda for 4 years. They were together 9 years. Then they separated. And now he is currently married to Catherine McPhee. And they have 1 son together. And this is the one, the documentary. So his daughters were not thrilled that he was dating someone basically their age.
Yep.
But when they got to know her, they were like, okay, this could work because Catherine McPhee is famous on her own and has her own thing. And if not more famous than David Foster in some areas.
Yeah.
Catherine McPhee was on American Idol. She's a song or an artist. And she was on the show Smash, I think. So she has her own thing going on.
Okay.
So also what I learned from the documentary and also read on Wikipedia, which is so interesting. So David starts telling the story randomly. It kind of came out of nowhere, and my parents were like perked up a little bit.
Yeah.
In 1992, he like leaves the studio really late. He's driving home on this really dark road in Malibu, and he's driving and he's tired. And then all of a sudden, he sees something in front of his car, and it takes him a second to be like, "Something's in front of my car, and I'm gonna hit it." Oh my god, that's a person! Oh my god, and he fucking hits a person, right? Calls. I know your face is like,
Oh
but he's telling the
my
story
God.
obviously like, listen to what happened to me. So we immediately were like, what a horrible way to tell this story. So he hits a person and he calls the police and he's like, oh my god, I just hit someone, please come. Like, oh my god. The police and the ambulance show up, and it ended up being an actor and dancer named Ben Viren,
Oh
who
my
I don't
God.
know. But Ben basically was in his Malibu apartment or his Malibu home when he suffered a stroke and was like so out of it that he started wandering the streets. And that's why he was in the middle of the street and got hit by David. And then basically the ambulance came and saved him because no one was home. So he would have just died from the stroke. But because he got hit by David, he was able to fucking
Live
live. So basically, David saved this man's life, which
by
I don't know
hitting
why.
him with a
Yeah.
car.
And this guy was critically injured, had to go through like physical therapy, but he recovered. And literally, he praises David for saving his
Stop.
life, which was like the best stroke of luck anyone could ever wish upon anything.
Thank you, David, for
So,
hitting
yeah,
me and
that's
saving
it.
my life.
That's my blurb on David. The documentary was fine if you want to watch it. It's from Netflix. They do a great job, but whatever.
Incredible. Incredible to find out where David is nowadays after all of this trauma we'll go through in
He's
the next
married
5
with a
episodes.
son who I think he's going to be a better dad to because he realizes with his adult daughters that he kind of
Mm-hmm.
fucked up a little bit.
Well, and he's a
Shout
lot
out.
older that he like can chill out on the career side of things.
No, he has to get his Tony.
Oh, good God. Whatever.
He's on it. He also hates New York and loves Los Angeles.
All right. Well,
That's David.
that's David, and this is the first episode of Princess of Malibu.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, do all the things, and join us on Patreon.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.